Alright, in this video we'll be watching Max L 1023 and YatogamiTohka do some very aggressive aerial denial in Siegfried line. Um, so Max is in the E100, which is a slow but relatively slow but very strong tank defensively. Some of the best armor in the game, especially in a city setting. And Yato's in T62, which none of us should be surprised at. It's one of the probably the best C62A player on the North American server. Um, and as you can see, looking at the mini map here, Yato is right up in the middle of the map in the city. He's taking a very aggressive forward position, um, and which allows, with him doing that, it allows Max in his E100 to get up into the city, into the FE line on the seven line border there, to get up and side scrape off that building and stop any other heavies from getting in there to get in the city. And at this point, you'll see the damage starting to pile up. I've got into a sort of a support position here to keep Yato's flank from getting crushed. Not so worried about Max. Max is probably one of the better heavy players I've ever platooned with, um, and is quite adept at brawling and protecting himself. Um, yeah, so at this point, I'm just wishing the IS-8 would go away and stop bumping into me and whatnot. And I'm probably getting angry at him because he's grinding up against me and pushing me out of position and bumping me as I try to shoot. So, at this point you can see that Yato's taken a little bit of damage, which is to be expected. You're in a very strong forward position like that, but the goal is not to suicide by any means. The goal here is to get into position um, in a spot that the enemy team wants to be in, but because you're there or because you're in a position makes it so they can't be there. Um, yes, shooting a column is always a bad idea. Anyway, um, so at this point, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot going on, but if you look at the hit point years up in the upper right hand side, you can see that their enemy heavies are taking damage pretty quickly. And once their tier 10 heavies are down, it's just a matter of time before we can collapse in on them. So at this point, Yato's taken a little bit more damage than the team would like to. We need to get some of these other tanks out of here. And so now at this point, it's time to just discuss and think a little bit and figure out where we want to make our move. So, thanks, Artie. 2-for-1 special. Now, if you watch here, Yato took another big, strong hit and is almost dead, which we don't want him to die. And, he's a strong enough player, he's not going to die, so he's going to be a little bit more careful now and not going to poke as much. But you see that it's time to make a move. So at this point, you've seen Max push up and basically just run headlong into their enemy tanks. And take out one of the remaining heavies. So now, at this point, it's a matter of taking out this T-32 and E-75, and then we'd be able to push around and take out the rest of their tanks. See that E-75 go down now. And Max is pushing in further. now that that E75 is out of there, Yato can move in and start to be aggressive again. Meanwhile, just take a look out at the field, and what you'll see out there is that we've got a couple of mediums kind of camping out in the field, not really doing much, and they've got some mediums out in the field that are not doing anything either. Unfortunately, they've got tier 10 mediums that are sitting out in the field not doing anything. So, now at this point, it's just kind of a matter of doing some cleanup here to finish up things in the town. Max is working on that IS-7. As you can see, just put a big hit on it, get this RD out of the way, and time to take out this 5120. Never a bad idea to throw a track shot out there if you can. You see him go dark there, but I know where he's at. Can't move that fast, can't accelerate that fast, so it's always a good idea to take that sort of a shot. These are one of those situations where the STB-1's gun handling is kind of frustrating when you're doing those kind of sniping shots like that, but for all intents and purposes, the T-95 is dead at this point. And it's just a matter of cleaning up the couple of remaining tanks. You'll see that Yato is still alive. Max still has, or had at this point, still a full third of his health before he took that RD shot. And at this point, I really haven't taken any damage. The STB can be an aggressive tank in certain maps, but in a city situation, it ends up being relegated to a little bit more of a support role. And at this point, the game is done. So once again, aerial denial with two of the best players in the game.